We have a brand new light by Zhiyun, the Cinepeer C100, not to be confused with another one that they just came out with, the CF100. There are some big differences between that one and this light. The first one being that this one is more expensive than the other one. But because it's more expensive, it also has certain features that the CF100 does not have. So welcome back to another video. My name is Mario So, and today we'll be talking about this light and explore it to see whether it's something that you would need to pick up for photography or for filmmaking. So before we continue though, I do want to say that although Zhiyun did send me this light for me to review and test out, they did not get to see this video before you do, and they have no say whatsoever in what I say in this video. So all the thoughts are my own. So this light comes at about $249 US, just the light by itself. And the combo package is $399 US, and that comes with all the other lighting modifiers, which I'll show you later on in this video. And to give you a little bit of a contrast, the CF100 light is much cheaper at $179 US. There are a few reasons why this one is more expensive. First of all, this one has app control, so you're able to control this light with the Zhiyun Vega app. This also has way more power in RGB mode. Typically, tube lights like that, when they're in full RGB mode, you sort of lose a little bit of that lighting output. Not with this one though. This one has a ton of power even in RGB mode. And the other reason why this one's more expensive is that you're able to pair this multiple of these C100 lights together and control them all at once via the app, something that you cannot do with the CF100. So let's talk about some of the features of this light. It can reach up to 100 watts in full power. It has Zhiyun's cooling mechanism, which is called the Dynavolt Cooling Mark II. But you're able to see over here that there are a ton of fans that, ooh, that sounds kind of weird. Ooh. There are a ton of fans here that turn on with their cooling technology, so there is no overheating with this light, which is a great thing because there's 100 watts of power in here. It has a color temperature that goes from 2700 Kelvin all the way to 6500 Kelvin. And like I mentioned before, you're able to use this with the app and connect multiple of these lights at the same time. In terms of build quality though, it's very well built, very premium. It feels very premium. Although this is made of plastic, it does not feel flimsy or cheap. So there are many things that I like about this light, mainly its power, but because of that, there are a few things that I don't quite like about this light. So stay tuned to find out what those are. In terms of battery, this light actually performs quite well. If you have it at 100 watts, Zhiyun claims that its battery will last about 54 minutes. And that's quite impressive being at full power. If you have this set as half its power, you'll be able to have this light last just a little bit over 2 hours. And at a 20 watt power, you're able to have this light last about 338 minutes. And that is quite a long time, even at 20 watts of power. But because the battery life is so good compared to other lights out there, there is one thing that also acts as a little bit of a con, if you want to call it that, for this light. And that is that this light is a little bit on the heavier side, which is about 2.9 pounds, so almost 3 pounds for a little tube light that is not very long either. Handling it is not as ergonomic as other tube lights, so you can hold it this way, but then this hold is a little awkward, or you can hold it this way, but then if you hold it like this way, you might accidentally touch these buttons. So one thing is that because this is a lot heavier, it's not as ergonomic if you were to shoot by yourself and hold this on the side, and if you were doing like a solo shoot and needed like an extra light and you're moving around. So one thing to keep in mind, because it's gonna get tiring having 3 pounds up here. Unless you're buff and built, in which case you should be no problem for you.
Hey man, I work out.
I think this light is meant more to be mounted on a C-stand or on a light stand. This light is also not magnetic, so you're not able to attach this to any magnetic surface and it'll just stay there. And that also comes down to safety because it has quite a bit of weight. So I think that's the reason why. But the benefits is that now you get a ton of battery. I wonder if this is the battery, I'm not sure. You get one mounting point here, like a 1/4 inch thread, and one up top. You also get a bracket right there that you're able to attach to the back like so. And now you're able to have extra contact points here if you want to mount your light horizontally to a light stand or something like that. You're able to power this light via USB-C. It has to be high power delivery though, and you're also able to plug this via DC input. And in terms of buttons, you get 2 buttons here, the power and the mode button, and a select and adjust button. So let's turn this on. You press once and hold it again and wait for that to come on. You toggle through the different modes by pressing this mode button. HSI, RGB, effects pixel. It's a pretty cool effect. Going to menu, CCT. You can use this adjust knob to adjust the power of that brightness. And you're able to move this, the select button, to toggle through the different settings. So I can go from dim and adjust here the CCT setting and then adjust it right here. And I press mode, I go into a different mode. I can adjust the dim level here. So very easy to control. You can also control this with the Zhiyun Vega app, entering a new set. Once you're here, you can tap on add the lights right here, and I'll add it to the app and I'll connect. So that's done. Now I can tap on the light and adjust different settings. I can control the brightness, turn it off, turn it back on, quickly toggle over through different color temperatures. You can also pick your own color, and this is where you access your HSI and RGB mode. You can adjust that saturation here, the hue, the brightness. Let's turn it all the way to 1%. The only con with the app is that you can't control the lighting effects with it, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Oh, it is really bright. Let's turn that down to 1%. So this is at 1%, about an arm's length. And let me turn this to 50%, and so you get a concept of how bright this is. So this is 50%, and I'm already over an arm's length from the light, almost 2 sort of arm's length. And this is really, really bright. So I'll test this downstairs in a bigger, oops. Okay, still good. I'll test this downstairs in a bigger space just to show you how much this can light in RGB. So that's a lot of red.
This light is now at 30% and it's already illuminating this entire room. It looks like we're having a party right now over here. Well, that's how powerful the RGB is on this light.
If you get the combo version of this light, you get it with a bunch of different modifiers. So you have these barn doors here, which I have a love and hate relationship with, and you'll find out why. So let's turn this way. I have these knobs over here, and the way you attach this is this goes over here, and you have to sort of open this up a little bit so it sort of passes these knobs, and it takes a bit of time to get this sort of attached. So if I were to take this out, I'll have to be very careful to not go through these knobs. Not a big deal, but just a minor inconvenience, something to keep in mind. You also get this softbox that you can use to attach over this set of barn doors. And this will help soften that light even further. And another thing that it comes with is the honeycomb grid. The thing with this though is that you have to get rid of your barn doors first if you want to have that attached. Oops. But to attach this is actually not very difficult. You just line it up here with the light and use these Velcro straps. And now you're able to get a little bit more of a focus spread of this light with the honeycomb grid. So in terms of some of the things that I don't quite enjoy, first is that a little bit on the heavier side. The second thing is that the handling of it ergonomically is not very well designed for that. So it's more meant for it to be attached to a light stand or something like that. The other thing too is that it is not very long. But overall, with the amount of power of lighting output that you get at full RGB, that's really impressive, and it kind of opens a world of possibilities because now you got a lot of power and different colors to play around with. So anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope that this was helpful to you, and let me know in the comments below if you use any tube lights or light sticks. Which one do you currently use? I would love to hear about it. And before you leave, here are a couple of videos you could probably watch next, and I'll see you there.